Arizona schools are facing a teacher shortage, and the problem is only getting worse. In just 4 months, to give you some context, more than 1,000 teachers have quit.
That's awful. State Schools Chief Tom Horn tells the I-Team's Craig Harris how to fix the problem. Craig?
How does a $10,000 raise sound? That's exactly what State Schools Chief Tom Horn said is needed to stop the mass exodus of teachers in Arizona's public schools.
It is a crisis because we're losing more teachers than are coming into the profession. So that's a real crisis.
State Schools Chief Tom Horn's office released a study this week. It showed more than 1,000 public school teachers have quit since July 1st, about the same number from district and charter schools, and nearly 300 quit after the school year started. But that's not all.
We have 4,000 vacancies being filled by long-term substitutes, which is not a good idea because they're not properly trained. We have 1,400 positions that haven't been filled at all.
Horn said teachers are leaving because of bad pay and a lack of discipline for students.
Matt Gress, who's a Republican legislator, my legislator from my district, had a bill to give everyone a $10,000 raise. That would have put us in the top 10 for starting salaries, and it would have solved a lot of problems. Unfortunately, it didn't pass.
Arizona teachers are mass querying. Teachers enter the classroom with a passion to educate, to inspire, and to guide young people towards their potential. But what happens when that passion turns into a toxic environment? When students refuse to learn, when discipline is absent, and when administration and parents fail to support you? This is the reason they are mass querying. Some have even shared that they feel gaslit and held responsible for things beyond their control. So let's get to see the reactions. Then you come back with commentary, and kindly hit the subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments, all right? Let's dive into it.
Teachers are quitting mid-year again at record numbers. Here's one of the reasons why. A student who wasn't assigned to me or my classroom was let into my room by another adult, a teacher's aide, and repeatedly ignored my direction and instructions to leave. Eventually, she repeatedly called me a cunt and threatened me with physical violence, which sent me into a panic attack. I called the office for support, and as soon as the dean of students showed up to my classroom, I left and I went to the stairwell to go cry and have a panic attack. Once I calmed down, which took my entire lunch, I was expected to go back and teach my classes because we had a sub shortage and nobody could cover my classes for the rest of the day. By the end of the day, the videos that the student took of me circulated amongst the student body, and I ended that day sitting at my desk feeling the most powerless and defeated that I've ever felt in my entire life. The student was not given a consequence that was fitting. She was sent home for the day. That was it. I received no apology, no restorative circle from the student or the adult who let them into my classroom, and the paraprofessional received no disciplinary actions. He stood in my classroom and allowed his student to speak to me in a degrading, violent, and disrespectful manner. After that class period was over, I had several students come up to me and say that they wanted to jump to my defense, but they were also afraid of that student and afraid of for their own safety. That's when I knew the profession I once loved was no longer the profession I needed or wanted, and I left a month later. And that story is not unique. Teachers aren't leaving because they don't care about the kids. They're leaving because the system no longer lets them teach kids. They're not allowed to teach self-management. They're not allowed to teach respect or accountability anymore. We are told to keep the peace, keep the bodies in the room. Some are even told to pass at 20%. Just get the kid the diploma. Pass them along so that the data looks good. But when we do that, we're not protecting the students. We're doing them a disservice because they are walking into a world that will hold them accountable. We could have taught them how to handle that with grace, empathy, and reflection. But instead, we're told to look the other way. Teachers quitting mid-year every single year is not an exodus. It's self-preservation. And deep down, it's heartbreak because they want to stay. The system is just making it so that staying is at the expense of yourself and your own family.
At this point, y'all, I just need to start a documentary. There is no way that it's 11:15 and I'm on the brink of tears because I want to go home so bad. These kids are horrible. horrible. They don't care about learning. The parents don't hold them accountable. They don't make their kids hold themselves accountable. The admin does not hold the parents of the children accountable. They say they hold the kids accountable, but they go to the office and they come back and they do the same thing. It's awful. I have a parent in there with me for some of the kids that have disability, like different things. Like, she's in there to support me. She watched me teach a whole lesson. I explicitly taught this lesson. I used all of my resources. The students had studies weeklies out in front of them. I had the article up on the board. We went article by paragraph. We broke it down. I asked them questions about it. We dissected the pictures, the whole nine. I did my job. I'm pausing, asking them questions. If you're a teacher, you know, and you use studies weekly, like, you know that at the end, like, they do there's a little quiz just to check for comprehension, right? So we get to that point, y'all, and only my same five students could answer the questions. And it was simple things like, who was Benjamin Franklin? Was he a doctor or an inventor? They're saying a doctor. We had to learn, mind you, I teach first grade, but we had to learn the word perseverance because that is one of his character traits. It means don't give up, keep trying. That's how I explained it to them. I asked them, does perseverance mean kindness? All of them but five said yes. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else I tell them the sky is blue. What color is the sky? They say red. This is deeper than education. This is deep, like, baby, don't get me to diagnosing them. And then on our way out the door to lunch, because y'all know I have to leave to lunch or I'm gonna spaz. But on our way out the door, one of the kids spit in another kid's face. Just spit. And before that, the same little girl that I made the video on, two other of my videos on with the parent, y'all, she's been hitting people all morning. I talked to her at 7:40 about hitting my nonverbal, putting her hands on. She didn't hit him. She grabbed my nonverbal autistic little boy's arm. Why are you touching him? He does not mess with nobody. Why are you touching him? Spoke to her about that. Then on the way to specials at, what time they go? 7:46, because I was running late. Because of that incident, she grabs another one of my autistic students' face. Why are you touching her? Mind you, this little girl has already had a swarm report and been referred to the counselor for a bullying incident on the bus. She hits, she steals, she cusses, and all her mama want to say is she still believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and she not gonna change overnight. She a kid. I'm fed up, y'all. I just sent a long email citing the code of conduct in the student and parent handbook, letting my admin know I have exhausted all of my resources. I can't take recess from the little girl because her mama say it's illegal. So what else do you want me to do? And at what point is a suspension going to be given? I've asked for the removal out of my classroom. They won't grant it. So, okay, now I'm going to cite what y'all have in black and white. So now what? Now what? They put so much weight and emphasis on the teacher. What about the kids? What about the parents? Like, I can't make a 6-year-old do nothing they don't want to do. Because Lord forbid I put the pencil in their hand and make them write it. Oh, now it's abuse or something. Like, we can't win. We cannot win. Like, I'm about to get my Chick-fil-A and I'm about to go and I'm about to sit at my desk for the rest of the day because I can't teach. I don't know what else you want me to do. I've tried.
There are so many teachers quitting right now in America, and I can guarantee you it's related to these three things: student behavior and how there are no consequences for horrible student behavior. Number two, No support from admin at all with the horrible behavior. And then number 3, the amount of work that teachers put in does not equal our take-home pay. And I know what you're going to say, but you get paid for summer and for your breaks. Honey, our salary is broken up into 12 months, but we only get paid for the time that we work. They just do teachers a favor and divide that by 12, so we get paid through the summer. But the amount of work that we do outside the classroom, insane. Some of y'all wouldn't last a day in our shoes.
The Arizona Department of Education is now sounding the alarm and saying they're in crisis mode after nearly 1,000 teachers have walked off the job since the beginning of the school year. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly 1,000 teachers in 3 months said to hell with this. Oh, gee, I wonder if it has anything to do with the radicalization of our teachers who have no business being anywhere near the youth. Or I wonder if it has anything to do with the youth who are absolutely disrespectful, who yell 6, 7 all day, or bring their phones to class and do all these other disruptive behaviors, and there's zero consequences. In fact, the principals and the teachers are on their side and against the parents. This is absolutely insane. This is nothing more than glorified babysitting services.
As we reflect on the challenges facing teachers in Arizona, it is important to understand that the implications go far beyond the classroom walls. And when a teacher quits, it's not just one job lost. That's a mentor gone. That's an advocate for child's growth disappearing from the system. That's a potential future altered. Teachers are often asked to be more than just educators, They instill discipline. They are counselors. And they are mediators, and yet the support they receive rarely matches the weight of those responsibilities. When the administration and parents refuse to support their teachers, this creates a toxic environment where teachers' mental health suffers and their passion slowly fades away. We have to ask ourselves, is it fair to ask a teacher to carry the burden of a society's failure? A student is only with a teacher for only few hours, but what happens when they return back home to unsupervised home environment? What happens to that kid when they grow up and face the world? Yes, the world teaches lesson, but a teacher's guidance is crucial in providing structure, discipline, and inspiration. This crisis isn't just about low pay or difficult students. It's about respect, support, and understanding. Teachers need fair compensation, and they also need a system that empowers them rather than punish them. They need parents who partner with them, administration that advocates for them, and communities that recognize the value of their work. If we fail to act on this, we risk creating a cycle of educational decline. Teaching is a noble profession, but it is not meant to be endured in silence, fear, or even despair, It is supposed to inspire, to nurture, and to build the foundations of our future. Teachers should not cry on their way to work, They should walk into classrooms with hope, confidence, and support. And this is our responsibility as parents, administrators, policymakers, and community members to make that possible. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.